parliamentary sovereignty and the doctrine of parliamentary sovereignty, which was the fundamental pillar of the BrExit campaign, that very doctrine, parliamentary sovereignty, teaches us in constitutional law, which Dominic Grieve, by the way, he understands the law. You mentioned him, this is why I refer to him. And that is that Parliament can do what it wants, and no past Parliament can bind a future Parliament. This is a fundamental pillar of our Constitution.
And he's trying to tear up the rules of it.
And Parliament can legislate to govern itself over its own rules as well. Parliament can pretty much do what it wants in this country. That is the democracy.
And you think that's a good thing?
No, let me continue with that. We also, beyond that point, have a representative democracy, not a direct democracy. And as a result, it means that our MPs can lead their constituency for 5 years and then go back to their constituents to ask for a verdict on how they've performed. They are not obliged to adhere to even the majority opinion in their constituency.
Well, let me
and the last point I'll make in response to you, and that is that, that we have the referendum itself that Parliament legislated for and approved legally was advisory. And the reason I mention that, not that you don't have a moral high ground.
We were never told that.
You won.
No.
You won the vote. The only reason I mentioned that it was legally advisory is to touch on what I, with respect, consider a tad hyperbolic, that this would be anarchy and the end of democracy.
It would be.
Because if the referendum was only advisory, then it's not the end of democracy if it isn't adhered to, though, of course, morally it should be adhered to.
The argument that's gone wrong in this whole thing is people keep saying they're looking after their own interests. I don't think they are. No. I think the vast majority of them are looking at what they find and saying, yeah, we should do this or we shouldn't do this. And I think they're taking quite a principled position. The problem is that there's amongst those who want to leave, there are two distinct groups. There's one group who want to leave under World Trade Organization terms and just get out, and there's another lot saying you can't do that. Unless you've got a deal, this is an economic disaster for this country. And they're not going to agree, those two. And therefore, almost anything you look at, there's no majority for.
Well, what I was going to say is I think your points are fascinating and probably absolutely right and all the rest of it, but they're very technical points. So what you're doing is you're saying representative democracy versus direct democracy. You're saying about, oh, yeah, this was advisory, but not legally obligated to implement. So they're very technical points. But I would say that the man on the street, he's not sitting there going... He's not sitting there, oh, direct versus representative. He's not. He's just saying, listen, we had a vote to leave. And whatever you say about advisory, it said in black and white on that little leaflet that we all got, that it said black and white, the government will implement what you decide. It did say that.
That's right.
So to the man on the street, they can read and they understand that and they voted. And they don't get into what you're saying about the specifics. I feel that those people that voted Brexit feel incredibly let down. And this has become a game-playing, personal, political, opportunistic thing instead of actually implementing what people ask for. So whether or not there will be anarchy in the streets, I'm not sure, but still believe that many politicians do not understand why people voted leave. They think people voted leave because they were stupid, because of a side of a bus, because of Russian interference or because of Facebook. So what I'm saying is they don't understand why people voted leave. They have ignored those consents because most of the time they don't even understand them, and they will just go off and do what they want.
Sure. It's not the job of government to manage Parliament, it's the job of Parliament to manage government. It's the other way around. That's what parliamentary sovereignty means. I do agree with what Michelle said, that actually it's about feelings and people feel betrayed, which is why I said you have the moral high ground, and my points are technical.
Clip from John Bercow, because I think John Bercow got it right. His job is to defend democracy, not to defend the executive.
I have no intention of taking lectures on doing right by Parliament from people who have been conspicuous in denial of and sometimes contempt for it. I will stand up for the rights of the House of Commons, and I will not be pushed around by agents of the executive branch.